hero that we've certainly seen him play a time or two, and well, one that is just one of my personal favorites to watch. Any hero that has a little bit of RNG just adds something extra there for the spectators, because it's you know, it sort of feeds to that inner gambler a little bit. Now, the Zeus pickup, certainly not a bad choice against the Meepo, but I worry about this Zeus. They have a lot of heroes with gap closers. 4 of these heroes will probably be looking to grab a Blink Dagger, and the one that isn't has a mini Blink Dagger built in with that Phantom Strike. So I feel like this Zeus is just going to have a rough time, and once the ball gets rolling for EG, they are going to be up in his face, and old man Thunder God here is, well, his mustache is going to be fried.
Damn, I think the Zeus is going to be very nice burst damage against PA, since she's not going to have BKB early, and so honestly spells are the best way to take her out, but it's not that great against the Meepo. Like, Art Lightning and Static Field are pretty good, but I don't want to be wrong about this, but I'm still almost, I'm like 90% sure about it, that although an ability like Haunt has an illusion for each Meepo, that the Thunder God's Wrath only hits the primary. And on top of that, you got the magic resistance at 35%, so in either case, it's really not doing that much unless they have some great focus fire.
That's an interesting question. Does the Wrath, or Thunder God's Wrath, hit every Meepo? I want to agree. I think it only hits the Meepo Prime, but just 2 heroes you don't see very often and pitted against each other. I don't even know if I've cast a game where it's a Zeus versus a Meepo. So that's your homework here, Blaze. Try and keep tabs on when that first ulti comes out. See how many Meepos take damage.
Yep, but like I said, I'm 90% sure it's the other way around. Ooh, an interesting flank here. Looking out at the mid lane, there is a lot of kill potential if they find a nice little pick off. Even like they don't even need to hit with the arrow immediately. They could just go torrent into arrow. But that ward scouts them out immediately. Zender and Jericho, they'll throw the arrow, but PPD will actually get hit by this one. Still pretty close to tower. I think he's okay.
Yeah, the torrent will come out and will clip him. It does a fair bit of damage, but you're certainly right about the tower positioning. Nowhere to chase him down, and he will live. So let's take a look at how EG will lane this. It will be Universe in the off lane, taking Helm on the Centaur. In the mid, it will be Zai playing on the Meepo, as we talked about, and the support duo Fear here on the Shadow Shaman, PPD on the Earthshaker, and up top that does put Artour in the safe lane, playing on the PA. So Meepo mid, I guess, a little bit better suited to deal with the Viper than the PA, but it's actually not even a Viper mid. Arrow will hit Zai, but Jericho won't be able to do much more besides that. Will take a fissure from PPD, and Zai will stay standing. So looking at the way the Radiant lanes have settled down, it is a safe lane Viper played by Ben Jazz. Xander here on the support Kunkka, as we've seen. Jericho already been quite active on the support Mirana. That puts Zeus in the solo mid role, and it will be Angel in the off lane on the Nature's Prophet.
So it'll be, obviously Meepo will be the one to watch early. Arteezy's just going to be kind of casually farming away. The Nature Prophet can't really prevent that too much. Fear might find an early opening with his Boots of Speed, but I really do like the fact that they're kind of going for this 2 versus 1 play on the mid lane. The fact that Earthshaker can babysit, can prevent any aggression, even arrows connecting from long range, just where it would normally be a kill, is not going to be as much of an impact when you have somebody to diffuse that situation, not only with a stun, but also with something that physically blocks your movement in that region. So, in the meantime, Universe is going to play his offlane style. He loves the leech where he can from the jungle, but he is just going to be gradually building up his experience, not guaranteeing anything as far as CS.
Yep. And pretty standard opener here. 1 point in return, 1 in hoof stomp, dodges the arrow as well as the torrent, and that will keep him safe at least for now as he just heads back to the tower halfway through level 2. Not off to a bad start with 4 CS under his belt. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Nature's Prophet really struggling, just barely hitting level 2 and only 1 last hit. So you mentioned he can't really stop the farm from PA, but that's a true statement. He also can't find any farm himself. There are no Radiant wards in the jungle here, looking at the Radiant vision, so he knows that Fear could just be hiding in the darkness and could pop out at a moment's notice, so he will play back. Rightfully so, and I think we'll see Angel retreat into the jungle sooner rather than later. He'll stick around as this creep wave shoves into the tower, but even more pulling from Fear will mitigate the amount of experience he's able to pick up here as PPD considering a wraparound.
Still, the movement early on from Union Gaming allowed them to place a couple of very important center wards out and limit how much PPD gets to stack. Loves to really just bolster the farm of players like Arteezy, and in this case Zai, and with a hero like Meepo, you can really farm those stacks out easily around level 5 with the double Meepo poof. So the fact that that's been taken out, at least for the first 4 minutes of the game, does set him back a little bit, but as we've seen, the laning phase seems to be going fine, and he's still going to find this medium Alpha Wolf camp.
Top Angel, that'll be your first blood drawn by Artour as he gets one last auto attack off. Fear sets it up with the shackles and the other shock. And now EG off to the races as they get a little gold boost here. PA finding some additional farm for his struggle. And of course Angel getting slowed down that much more. Almost level 3, but still struggling to find just a baseline of farm here in the top lane.
Yeah, and I really just don't think that farming up the Benha's Viper is going to be that much of a difference here. I mean, like, I have seen his Viper play, and I've not been really all that impressed. It doesn't really seem like his hero compared to that of Citadel. So the fact that they made this switch over where he's playing the Viper and just kind of building up Aquila, maybe like Mech or Drums to go for a bit of Deathball, he's going to have to build up hard into Nether Toxin and really be on point with his focus of just executing the lower HP Meepos, because otherwise I just don't really see the value of this specific role on the Viper.
Yeah, Universe will get caught by an X Torrent into Arrow, but he's already level 4 and pretty damn tanky. Benjaz with 2 points in the poison attack might be enough to bring him down. Universe will connect with the Hoof Stomp, but recognizing there's nowhere for him to go, will fall, and that will level it out as a 1-for-1. Still a big disparity across the off-laners, and still doing okay in the grand scheme of things. Zai in the mid does have double runes here, invisibility and a haste rune. And he'll just be camping about the high ground, perhaps looking for initiation. And Citadel will be popping forward here, poof forward, the Earthbind's off the mark, and well, that's a missed opportunity to get a kill on the Zeus, but he will get zoned out once more.
Zeus is very squishy at only 2 armor, but even still it's kind of dangerous to go in there when the Nature's Prophet can always teleport. Even at only level 3, a couple of right clicks along with some return damage from the tower and from the Zeus's bolts, it's a risky business going into it. So Zai will just keep on farming away, retreat a little bit from the jungle, just get multifaceted aspects of progression so that he can get towards the Meepo number 3. That's the important one, to really just be active across the map. You can kind of send one Meepo to the other lanes while you're still kind of stack farming with the other 2. So we'll see him progress in levels quite quickly, but I guess he'll probably build up the treads into something like a Blink Dagger to follow through with his teammates.
Yep. Pretty core stuff there. Rushing the blink gives you some mobility, and most importantly gives you that long range initiation, similar around that time when your poof is maxed out. Like you mentioned, you have that third Meepo, and that's where that huge burst damage comes from. There's the power treads, just to get a little bit of stats coming out on Mr. Meepo there. But his farm looking pretty good, 33 CS on him, and well, Zeus do pretty well, also 34 up on Citadel. But now comes the ultimate from Citadel, and the follow-up, the Torrent, the Arrow, and that's enough for a kill on the Earthshaker. That'll make it 2-1 as UG get another one up on the scoreboard, and it is actually Citadel that gets the last hit there.
Yeah, and just to confirm, the fact that Thunder God's Wrath does not hit secondary Meepos is true. The second Meepo is in mid lane now and did not take any damage from that one.
Yep. So there you have it, folks. Just Meepo Prime. Oh boy, now down bottom, Fissure out on 2. Angel picks up a haste rune. First set of Earthbinds is off the mark, and Zai will just retreat out, or well, he's thinking about it, cancels the poof, and we'll just walk back to safety as Nature's Prophet does pull a rotation, giving Artour even more time to farm away here. Aquila, Brown Boots, Poor Man's Shield. Nothing too crazy up on him yet. I'm not so sure that he'll go for a Battle Fury this game, though we've seen some PA players love it, others not like it so much.
He's definitely going for Battle Fury. Check out Fear's inventory. He's hiding the Ring of Health on the Shadow Shaman. He's getting a casual HP regen, and yeah, he's going to go for
Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like that there. Okay. Oh, well, he will have a decently timed Battle Fury here. He did stop off for the Aquila Poor Man's Shield, which gives him a little bit of extra fighting prowess, some extra armor and stats, just to help tank him up and assist in that last hitting power. And if this keeps up and UG don't pressure this top lane, I reckon EG should be able to knock down the tower. Well, they haven't chipped away at all, but Shadow Shaman almost level 6 now. They should be able to bring it down, and he could be looking at like an 11-minute Battle Fury here if he keeps up this level of farm.
Yeah, and that's obviously very absurd and very difficult to deal with. I kind of like some aspects of Union Gaming's draft, that cheekiness with the global combo, the Wrath of Nature plus Thunder God's Wrath, I think is underutilized in the metagame in general, but I just don't see it working against these heroes. PA and Meepo are going to get too big too quickly. We're going to see Fear drop some great Serpent Wards down, and look at the damage coming out. Easy pick off there, and it will cut through the creep wave. So although it's not directly killing off the tower, it still will make it very difficult for them to hold it. The arrow will fly. Arteezy getting nailed, but still not taking the tower aggro.
Yep, Jericho with no points in Starstorm. There will be a Zeus ultimate coming through, an X from the Kunkka, and the Torrent will fly through. There should be a dead PA. Zeus will zap him down to secure the kill, and Fear gets isolated inside of the Sprout. He'll get picked off as well. It is a pretty big rotation, though. Gives Zai some more space to free farm here in the mid lane. And down bottom, one of the Meepos will head down, and they will look for a kill on this Viper. Universe pops the Stampede. There's the Fissure, and well, Universe has to take kind of an awkward path there, but still the Earthbind's connect, poof forward, and Benjaz should take a tumble right here. Almost finds a counter kill on PPD. The Corrosive will be enough to bring him down. Oh, wow, that's a 1-for-1, and Meepo does get a kill, but at least Viper finds some gold recovery there as PPD goes into the grave.
And he actually hardly lost anything. He already bought the mechanism recipe, so he didn't have anything to lose. And then after that, the post-mortem, he gets a free magic stick out of it from the death of the Earthshaker. So he's actually pretty happy with that. And I'm really kind of surprised that EG didn't use the Stampede earlier to try to help the Fear and Arteezy disengage. The flames are going to come out so fast here. But yeah, so it's just the aspect of not using the Stampede there, it definitely put Arteezy in a difficult spot, and although he might have been able to Phantom Strike away, just the usage of the X and Torrent were too far on point.
Yeah. Just looking at the graphs here, EG with a pretty small gold lead, but holding on to a pretty significant experience lead. Of course, a lot of that comes from Mr. Meepo here. Looking at the hero levels, he is the highest in the game at level 9. And per usual, just farming multiple places at once, and no big surprise to see EG with an edge on that front. Team EG ready, and they will resume the pause. Just a quick one there. Not much intel to be gained from that, I suppose, but we'll see. And everyone will just go back and down 5-3 at just shy of the 9-minute mark. And oh wow, up top, Nature's Prophet will get dove on by Arteezy, and it looks like an easy kill. I did miss that one following the pause. Pardon me, friends. But picks up his power treads now, and actually not rushing that Battle Fury. So could have had it very quickly here, but going for a much more fight-oriented PA build and just going for the casual Ring of Health regen for now.
Radiant's top tower
It wasn't even really that much surprising damage coming out from the Phantom Assassin there. No crits, just the Nature Prophet hanging around with 400 HP, and the Phantom Assassin able to stay on him for as long as he wanted to. So good movement there from Arteezy, but maybe a bit of a overextend from Angel. In either case, his Midas is delayed once again. He's died twice now with only 20 CS. So although he really wants some levels in that Wrath of Nature, he's going to really have to work for it. In the meantime, Zai getting flanked, getting hit by the lightning, and this next part should secure it if they can just follow through.
Yeah, Arteezy coming in. He'll take a lot of burst damage here from the Zeus as well. Another bolt of lightning to bring him down. Now Zai on the run. The Meepo's getting low. It'll be a 2-for-0 to get things started. Universe on his way in, low on mana. A double edge to secure the kill onto the Kunkka. But it will cost him his life as now Fear drops the ward and will connect with a set of shackles. He falls as the Moonlight Shadow comes out. PPD pretty isolated. We're looking to have some more damage come in from the wards, and will be successful on that front as the Mass Serpent wards bring down the Viper. But EG get completely team wiped. All 5 in exchange just for 2 heroes.
Yeah. EG really doesn't want to fight right now. Like, the Centaur without a Blink Dagger can't get the ideal stomps off. Like, we would have seen a 3 or 4 man stomp come out from Universe if he had a Blink Dagger, but not even halfway there. They want to avoid the fights as much as possible, but that just promotes Union Gaming's aggression. They try to find the openings. Right now, an arrow in the mid. They'll X him into it. Nice combo, but they just don't have the damage follow through. The boat will come across, but Zai, he's not going to even get hit, and he'll just poof away.
Yeah, bit of a fail boat there coming out of the Kunkka, unfortunately. A close call, really nice setup as that arrow was so close to a whiff and ended up being a 5-second stun. But Meepo already at that point of being a little bit tanky with the treads as well as the Ogre Club. Of course, well on his way to an Ag Scepter. Won't be rushing the Blink Dagger as we both seem to think. but the Ags certainly a valuable
Radiant's
pickup
top
on
tower is
Meepo
under
as
attack.
well. Other item progression, PPD
Radiant's
pretty dirt
structures
poor
are
this game,
fortified.
honestly. Only about 400 net worth on him, just GG branches and a TP scroll with level 4 on this Earthshaker. Not even a pair of boots picked up yet. Arteezy, no item progression since we last looked, just hanging on to that Ring of Health since he picked up the power defense there. Universe, only
Radiant's
about
top
2/3 away to the
tower
Blink
has
Dagger.
been
11.5 minutes in, you'd really hope this Centaur would be a bit closer, but at least he's level 8. So we've seen the Stampede a few times and is pretty darn bursty.
Yeah, Invis Centaur coming in for the flank towards the mid lane. Might be able to find pick up there. That would be very helpful. Angel has, however, found his Midas, so even then the damage will be done. But this is an EG play if I've ever seen it. Scouting out with Universe, trying to find openings, but all they do is just use that intel to say we could take Roche. Going in here, tanking up with the evasive Arteezy for a
they
bit.
smoke. And it's broken. They know there's an invisibility
Oh, no.
somewhere. Slitterall uses his lightning to reveal it. They find Universe. Stampede gets caught, but space created. Roche has already fallen, and they'll be pretty happy to trade Universe for an uncontested Roche. Meepo is the one to grab the Aegis, and I think still a good trade for the evil geniuses.
Yeah, they're still pretty happy with that. It's been a lot of like unfortunate circumstances that are still good trades from both sides, really. Because Union Gaming, like they have a 5-2-1 Viper. He's dropped down a couple times, but he's always able to get something in exchange for it. But now, finally, EG they get something back. They get the Roshan. They're gonna try to turn this into some kills, but up against the damage coming out from heroes like Zeus, it's gonna be very risky business. They lose at least one, maybe two, and as we've seen, if they get singled out, they could just lose their entire team.
Arrow flies through, almost hits Fear, but now Jericho will get jumped upon. Both flies through, will connect on. No one flies through Fear and will not hit him with the stun. Now Sidorall pressing forward, a lot of burst damage out on Zai. That'll proc the Aegis. But Meepo Prime was up onto the high ground. That will be the only loss for EG so far this fight. Moonlight Shadow to escape, and I don't think there's any detection on the Dire side. Nope, no sentries down, no dust, and UG will be able to disengage, except for Jericho. He'll get caught. Arteezy blink strikes onto him, or Phantom strikes as they call it, but Aegis for the Mirana, not really what EG was looking for there. They do defend the tier 1 tower, however, which is a minor victory.
Yeah, Meepo Aegis is literally the best carrier in the game, so the fact that he doesn't have it now is quite unfortunate, but still it's buying him time to just continue to farm across the map, and he will have the Aghanim Scepter for the next fight. The difference between the Blink and the Aghanims, I mean, those are pretty much the only two builds you'll see, but I guess he just thinks that Universe and even later PPD will have them and the initiation covered well enough that he doesn't need to go for it now. Maybe next, but the important thing for him at this point in time is just to get major stats on the Meepos, getting 100% stat scaling, getting some good strength and even the HP from the point booster, and that'll set him on his way to at least survive through the Zeus.
Yeah, this tier 1 tower now will take a tumble into some moments notice. There is a dire glyph available. They will pop it. S1 spot on Universe as the Stampede comes out. Both flies through again off the mark. Arteezy taking a lot of damage in the tree line, and the tower
nice
will fall.
blink. Sidorall.
Yeah, Zeus will finish him off. Nature's Prophet finishes off the tower, and even Rocket Awards committed from Fear's Shadow Shaman. And EG, again, just on the back foot in the exchange, and Union Gaming find what they were looking for. Even with these bad exchanges, EG still holding on to a small gold lead and about 3,000 experience.
Yeah,
Dire's
this
middle
blink
tower is
movement and
under
just
attack.
in general advantage for Union Gaming as far as able to move into position more rapidly is really what's allowing them to take these earlier fights. 5 kills in their advantage now, and so they can just leap to it, they can global teleport, they can blink into where they want to be, and they can find those openings to single out the weak one that's trying to run back. This is true for Meepos, but it's also true for EG. They have a lot of frail heroes that are going to try to run away when they're about 25%, and if you can just get the killing blow, then they're not coming back anytime soon. So, like you said, a very gradual build-up for Arteezy. Actually disassembles the Aquila into a Vlad's just to give his team that bonus aura and obviously to give himself a little bit of lifesteal too.
All right, well, that bonus aura will certainly come in handy, and the aura is pretty damn good on the PA. Whoa, arrow almost hits Fear. And they ping it out, but no, they won't die for it.
Dire's bottom tower
Now this
is
bottom
under
tier
attack.
1 will start to take some
Radiant's
pressure
middle
from the
tower is under
Nature's
attack.
Prophet treants there. And EG sort of doing what they can to make a hold here. Fear has picked up his Blink Dagger, and also
Dire's
Dust is in the
bottom
inventory
tower has
of the
fallen.
Shadow Shaman. So they will be able to deal with Moonlight Shadow a bit more effectively. It is a tier 1 for tier 1 exchange. The mid tower fell as Zai pressured it down. And up in the top lane, he's pressuring that one as well. He has now picked up his Ag Scepter, and down bottom, fight could break out. Arrow flies through. EG will sidestep it, and they will just start clicking away.
This game is completely different than it was 60 seconds ago. EG now has all these blink daggers up, they can counter-initiate, and they can create space for Zai to just keep pushing. The Meeples don't want to be with the core team because they have too much experience, but can TP in if necessary. Actually, the Prime doesn't have the TP, just went back home to base, but no matter the case, like right now, they can hold this tower, they can get the deny, they just have to find the timing. You might see Thunder God's Wrath used to prevent blinks in order to secure this tower kill, but we'll have to see.
Torrent almost hit PPD and Universe. 50 hit points left on the tower, and you're certainly right. They can't get the deny. Blink daggers are disabled, and now Angel may get left behind. Universe thinking about blinking in. He'll hop into the tree line, and that'll be a dead Nature Prophet. Now they'll press forward. Flash Shadow is deployed. Artour gets X back, gets hit by the boat, and that will be a dead PA. Piranha will leap back to safety, and Lightning will bring down the Shadow Shaman. Evo has joined the party, doing a lot of damage to Benjaz, but I don't know that it's enough. Torrent will connect on all of them. Benjaz secures the kill. Jericho helping out there with the Starstorm, and again, EG not finding the hold they were looking for as PPD gets X'd back and will get chopped down by the Kunkka as well as the Zeus. Doing what he can to survive, fancy footwork around the trees, but it's just not enough. In Universe, the lone defender at 2 for 4 trade, and the tier 2 tower gets taken out. Union Gaming with some serious momentum here, Blaze.
Yeah, these kills are just racking up, and it's becoming harder and harder for EG to take the fights. They have tools to position themselves, but they still just don't have the durability to tank through it. Like, Fear got in there, but he didn't get the wards down because he only has 700 HP, and you got a lot of heroes that deliver a lot of damage very early in the fight. It's not just that they have a lot of damage in general, but it's all front-loaded burst damage, particularly from the Zeus. You're going to lose majority of your HP in the first 2 or 3 seconds of the fight, and in this case you don't get hardly any spells off at all. So Arteezy gets locked down, Fear gets locked down, and from there, once the Meepo comes in, he isn't able to do much because he's not benefiting from the Vladimirs of the PA, and obviously the Viper is tanked up quite a bit. That corrosive returning all the damage it needs to.
Yeah. This Zeus pick has really proved effective here, and that last fight, you hit the nail on the head, the ultimate perfectly timed to stop the blink daggers, and EG were just sort of left, well, what do we do now? I have no way to initiate, as we've invested so much in these long-range gap closers. Blinks up on the Shadow Shaman and the Centaur for now. I think that'll probably be Zai's next item, 1,700 gold up on him, and he will need a gap closer of sorts. Still no item progression really on the side of Artour here. He did pick up that Vlad's Blast after splitting the Aquila, as we talked about. But aside from that, we don't see too much. Down in the bottom lane, Fear will throw out a Hex trying to TP home, but gets hit by an arrow from Jericho. And that will just be a simple 1-for-0 exchange as he tries to pressure that bottom tier 1. Yeah. EG rotating down with a smoke deployed, and maybe they'll try to find a counter kill here. Oh, Jericho walks right into it. Big pump onto the hook stomp, but will catch him, and there's an Earthbind, and Jericho will go down, and they at least make it a 1-for-1, though. This is some space created, and will maybe end up in a tower exchange as UG commits to the top, and EG commits to the bottom.
Yeah, still EG are happy to take 1 tower in exchange for the top one. At this point now they've gotten all the tier 1s. When Meepo starts ratting harder, okay, actually they're not going to take this Fortify. They're going to try to return.
Oh, wow, Viper comes in, throws out the Viper strike. Zai will try to coop back home. The boat flies through, will be off the money, and the rest of EG kind of scattering about. As we do see Benjaz on the front lines here, Mech at the ready, and does have his Ags complete, so plenty of Viper strikes to throw around. PPD in the tree line, almost shoots him, but they find him. They will take a silence, and they'll click him down. It is Benjaz that secures that kill. So what a trade for UG. They get a tower, and they defend their bottom tier 1. It's in deny range. They may just want to finish it off before the Shadow Shaman sneaks down to snipe that last hit. But what a play from UG as they turn it around, and again, further their momentum here. Now about 4,000 gold in the lead. Still 1,000 experience in favor of Evil Geniuses, but again, with the Meepo, that is really a lot less than you would hope it would be from the perspective of EG 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they still got this late game guaranteed. If we hit the 45 to 50 minute mark and EG aren't losing racks, then they are winning the game by default. But Union Gaming have put up a huge fight to this point. I mean, that's the best use of fortification you can ever get. It's just baiting them into that situation where they lose lives, they don't even get the tower, and as you said, it's up for denial, but at least for the moment, still on the table. Yeah, EG just haven't gotten a single fight the way they've wanted it to, and it's getting harder and harder to initiate without risking so much for yourself. I mean, once they get the mechanism on Universe, maybe that'll be different, but I mean, we're even now seeing a Blink Dagger on the Furion. Like, he's going to be causing them no end of grief with the Blink Silence, and there are a number of heroes that shuts down completely.
Now Fear trying to TP out from the top lane, and the Orchid almost enough to bring him down.
Dire's
Oh, the
middle
Shadow
tower
Burn
is under
just
attack.
doesn't proc in time, and the regeneration from the well keeps him alive. But boy, was that a close call.
Very much so. So another Thunder God's Wrath used just kind of casually. The last one actually scouted out that there was a smoke coming. Jericho still kind of got caught out, but they had to commit a lot to actually bring him down, including the Stampede. But essentially with Thunder God's Wrath, if the enemy is smoked, because it no longer reveals, you just say, okay, well, the heroes aren't dead, but we don't see them. The only solution is they are,
Dire's middle
in
tower
fact,
is under
smoked.
attack.
So they
It
knew
doesn't
what was
reveal
going
the
on.
hero, but still
Radiant's
gives you that
bottom
vision in the area where they are, so you can kind of
Radiant's bottom
infer
tower
that,
has fallen.
this is mysterious.
Oh, Fear catches an arrow.
Cheese and crackers. Sorry, Fear, but you're going to be dead this time around. Down bottom, that tier 1 tower will fall, and they really should have denied that one. It's just an easy last hit for the
Dire's middle
Centaur.
tower is
But
under
UG
attack.
will commit towards this tier 2 in mid lane, and they will find it. Double damage rune up on Zeus as EG invade the
Dire's
Dire
middle
jungle,
tower
and
has fallen.
sort of in an awkward position here. They can't commit to the tier 2
Radiant's
down
top
bottom,
tower
as
is under
UG
attack.
can mount a defense quite easily. And let's see where the Dire side chooses to rotate.
Yeah, interesting build-up from the
Radiant's bottom
Kunkka
tower
here,
is
to be
under
honest.
attack.
Veil of Discord coming out for him. It's obviously just a utility pickup to help out the Zeus here. Usually, like, you look at Zeus and it's like, okay, Veil of Discord is the best item to go on him.
Radiant's
Just
bottom
dramatically
tower
enhances
is
his
under
damage. But
attack.
if you get it up on somebody else, then he's the one who can pick up the Aghanim's Refresher, and you just use the Kunkka to initiate.
Yeah, down bottom, Benjaz gets caught by Zai. He'll poop on
Big
top
kill.
of him. The rest of
Bottom
EG
tower is under
converge.
attack.
And they will find a free kill there on the Viper, so not too bad, but they also spend a lot of time just hanging around in the jungle with not too many heroes farming, basically just the Meepo. Yeah, there's that Veil completed, as you talked about, as Artour checks out the Roche pit. He'll be coming up in just a second as he leaves the pit. A little bit bittersweet for the side of the evil geniuses, though. They should know that if Roche isn't up yet, he will be in just a few seconds' time. Light Shadow has been deployed in the mid lane, and Union Gaming will back out. Now EG, they see Roche once more, and they will move straight into the pit. UG looking at the vision control. They do have an idea. Arrow flies through, and now they have visual confirmation, but they're just not in a position to contest without this Viper, and that kickoff could have come at a better time. Now we see why EG was putting so many resources into camping out that Radiant jungle.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to drop down a ward right in front of the Sentry, so unfortunately that will be taken care of a little bit later, or whether by this, within the range of the Sentry, or if it expires, they can just use the Lightning Bolt to take it. But no matter the case, the pickup of Roshan for EG here is absolutely immense. The second Aegis going once again to the Meepo, and this time he has a lot more HP to make it worth his while. Angel might actually wander into foreign territory here, but at least for the moment he's got two allies at his back. So a big pick off on the Viper, not only a huge kill because he's a level 13 core hero, but sealing the deal on that Roche. Now again, it comes down to Kunkka for the initiation here. He's going to be able to turn around, but for now it's the Stampede.
Yep, Zai presses forward, Proof doing a lot of damage. Angel the first to go down, but Zeus falls shortly after. A boat flies through and will connect on all the Meepos, but there's just any follow-up damage, and now the arrow comes in, will connect on PPD, already gets the fissure off. Zai utilizing the Blink Dagger for a huge Proof damage onto the Kunkka. A torrent flies through, but it just doesn't matter, and it'll be a 3-for-0 exchange as EG regain all of that lost footing from moments ago.
Oh,
Now
Arteezy
even
is
Artour
manning up
pressing
hard.
forward here.
Wow, just manned up against a double damage Viper, and Benhaz is running. That is absolutely as manly as can be. I mean, I know he has the blink stun coming in from Universe and coming in from Fear, but just completely just shrugs off the fact this guy hits for 200 and just goes in and takes him down anyways. That is just a great team sense in general, knowing what your allies are going to be bringing to the table in a moment's time, and in the end, they're all dead. It's a 5-man wipe against Union Gaming.
Yep, and no casualties on the side of EG. Don't even proc the Aegis there. Also, Universe has picked up a mech. I don't think we mentioned that, but sort of a delayed mech pickup, but still a good item nonetheless. And now we'll be moving into probably a pipe, picks up that cloak for now, and a great value item in terms of helping him tank up. Following that successful team fight, we see a lot of item progression on the side of EG. Now the Scythe of Vice on the Meepo, great item on him, and just provides so much great control and a little bit of extra stats as well. And Shadow Shaman, he's found himself the Yule Scepter. So some mana regen going the way of Fear, and also gives him a reset tool and possibly even a way to initiate on the opposition. PPD still struggling to make a
Yeah.
recovery. He had to go back for Tranquil Boots and a Sage's Mask, but he is playing that position 5, and he's going to stock up on wards, so at least still contributing despite being rather underfarmed. And just look at that gold graph. It has turned into a mountain, and EG have regained the gold lead, albeit small. They have a huge experience lead of now about 12,000.
Yeah, really difficult for PPD to stay active and stay relevant. Like, he's 0, 5, and 9. He's not farming any creeps, of course, but hey, I mean, if you can just stay at full HP, has a decent mana regen. I mean, technically the Sage's Mask doesn't even give as much as the Basilius or Vlad's that he's experiencing from Arteezy, but he just stays with his team, maybe gets a half-decent Echo Slam out. He'll be perfectly fine to just be kind of the ward bitch here, but yeah, Union Gaming, they're really looking for this full combo. Need Citadel to hit level 16 and just need that Veil Boat to connect. If Veil Boat connects, the team fight's like an auto win before the Pipe of Insight's up for EG, because you get the follow-up of Wrath of Nature, Thunder God's Wrath, that's Aghanimed up. It's just absurd how much damage they can put out, but
yeah,
it's...
And then even the Star Storm on top of that, the Wrath of Nature like you mentioned, and Viper throwing in some of his magic damage, yeah, that Veil buff really adds up quick with how much extra damage comes out into the fray. So we'll see. It's a matter of execution for UG, though, and easier said than done, for sure, as we see a Stifling Dagger, coup de grace proc there onto Jericho. Kicks him down just a bit.
Angel going in hard on PPD. He knows how weak and squishy he is. Going to go for the TP in the tree line here, but just actually getting the Wrath of Nature on him with the trees cut down.
And PPD will not even try and TP home. He knows he's dead. Just tries to waste as much time for the Nature's Prophet as possible and create some space for Mr. Meepo in the top lane. We'll be able to finish off that tier 2 tower. So end of the day, it's basically a tier 2 tower traded for the position 5 Earthshaker. Again, EG will not be too upset over that exchange. And Artour, he has abandoned all hope of a Battle Fury. He went back for drums and now has a Skull Basher complete, and it ended up just being a casual ring. Sometimes you got to get a little bling out onto the field instead of a Battle Fury.
I think if they hadn't lost like the first 2 or 3 fights of the game, that Arteezy would have made a different choice. But in this case here, the Vlad is awesome. Oh gosh, the Aegis is actually going to go down here. Dry was pushing him very aggressively, but I assume he would have backed off and kind of wrote it off. Now he'll be X'd back. He'll die the second time, and although his death timer is reduced by his passive, it still is a very critical kill. Killing spree going to 523, and that's a level 22 hero. That's a lot of experience to give to the side of Union Gaming.
Yeah, sort of an awkward position from Zai as well. I don't know if he was just anticipating UG being more aggressive or what that was, but very far forward and no chance of any support coming in to save him. PPD will now just upgrade that Sage's Mask into a good old-fashioned Soul Ring, so at least has a slightly, well, not really a larger mana pool, but a utility item to give him some more mana in the heat of the moment. So he can ensure he'll get off those key fissures / echo slams as needed. Fear in a very awkward position here. He is stuck in the trees, and it doesn't seem like Union Gaming are too suspicious of his whereabouts, but still
If they casually ult you
on
on the Zeus, though, that'd be hilarious. Like, you can't TP out of this, and just one casual, Thunder Gods, let's see everything. But for now, I guess he'll just be hanging out, and they're gonna keep pushing. Maybe even a courier snipe coming out. The thing has haste, though. Fear, are you serious? He almost got it, but it hastes away with the Reaver intact, and yeah, it's just gonna be Fear to casually walk by and escape perfectly fine. Now, one thing I want to talk about real quick is now what PPD can actually do with the Soul Ring. Like, you could look at it and it's like, okay, that doesn't mean anything to me, but it actually means that what he can do is whenever Nature Prophet tries to go for solo push, he can kill off the creep wave no problem. 2 fissures, takes out all the tree ants, all the creeps, and he can just keep spamming with that Soul Ring. So it's actually not great in the full 5-on-5 combat, but if he's the one that just has to be kind of making the lone standoff, it's going to be perfectly fine to delay it while the rest of EG make their move across the map.
I do concur on that front. Now EG will go back to farming a little bit. Looks like old Meepo looking for a Scotty. He's got the double ultimate orb and really not too far off the mark. Basically just an orb of venom away as UG group up in the top lane, and we'll be looking at high ground here. EG not in a great position to contest, and oh boy, Zai actually has the Scotty complete now, so this is a pretty beefy Meepo. Meepo Prime up to 3,000 points. Ben Jazz is initiated upon. Fear with the blink. Wards come down, but here we go. The both could connect on quite a few here. Zai taking a lot of damage. Ben Jazz still falls, and the Shadow Shaman will be the first to go down. Now Artour getting clicked hard, will get X'd back. The negative earn charge, a few more right clicks will bring him down. And
What?
PPD, with the mana pause here,
Okay, how much more right click does Marana have? Okay, she only has 79, so this won't kill him even with the urn. It's close, but I was going to say, if this comes down to a dodge or a hit, that would be insane. But it looks like he's just barely over the health threshold for that.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Wow.
Well, that team vote was pretty interesting. Obviously, the Veil connected as they intended to. The boat was great too, but in the end, Meepo has tanked up so much at this point. Aghanim, Scotty, the natural magic resist, he's able to hold it even without the Pipe of Insight from the Centaur, just the mech alone, and the Stampede away. So, yeah, a lot of close calls, but the fact that EG still have a few heroes limping back that are going to be able to heal up and re-engage means they can hold their racks. They might lose maybe half the tier 3, maybe even all of it if they don't commit the fortify, but here they have the Serpent Wards, they have the fortification, and this will be a successful defense against Union. They might as well just back off now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Universe can reconnect. Looks like there's some sort of a lag issue here.
Yeah, he blinked into an arrow, so I don't think really his contribution, lag or not, would have really been that different in this team fight in particular, but even still, you have to be ready for what comes next.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to tend to something here, Blaze. Feel free to take it away.
Sure. So what we're going to be looking at as far as later game progression here is obviously Phantom Assassin is going to be looking for Abyssal and BKB to give her the durability to stay in the fight, as well as to lock down just one target, whether it be the Viper or maybe even just find a pick on the Zeus would be huge. In the meantime, there are going to be some rat plays coming out from the Furion, but yeah, he's mobile, he's active, and he still kind of wants to team fight. Blink Dagger, Orchid, Maelstrom, generally more prevalent around killing heroes and just adding more damage to that pool. So, yeah, with level 16, maybe that fight would have been better for for Union Gaming. Obviously, the Zeus would have killed off our Arteezy with the maxed out Thunder God's Wrath, but in this case it's just a little shy, and unfortunately that means they won't be able to really turn this into anything. So Veil of Discord's great, but if he doesn't get level 16 and use it before the pipe, which at this point seems inevitable, then that's going to be very difficult to start killing off people.
Yeah. I don't know. This is turning into a pretty interesting game. I mean, the Meepo is huge, and this is one of these fights where EG only lost their Shadow Shaman. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but they took a lot of damage, and you know, a little bit of RNG, one less dodge there, it would have been a dead Phantom Assassin. Meepo, well, almost went down. I suppose they did drop their full rotation, so I don't know how they'll bring him down once the pipe comes out. Maybe once that Refresher Zeus is online, it'll be enough damage. Even PPD surviving by the skin of his teeth here, so this is a little bit scary, and even as they're retreating back towards the well, I don't think Union will be able to break the high ground too easily. They are holding a gem as well in the Nature's Prophet, so I don't think they'll want to play with fire on that front and risk losing the gem unnecessarily, especially with the roster board still standing with plenty of HP and time remaining. But Union at least showing that despite all this farm on the Meepo and that failed team fight last time, they can still put up quite a bit of aggression and have some potential to turn this game around if EG do make some sort of a big misstep or get caught a little bit off guard. Like if this Meepo gets caught without buyback like he is right now, this could be bad news.
Yeah, he did buy out for the Scotty, but I think that Scotty was way too valuable to just leave as a available pickup. Like, he's able to tank up through so much. They've already unloaded everything from this fight, and the Scotty really does make the difference here. We see all the Meepos just a little bit tankier, and yeah, you can look at the fact that, sure, the secondary Meepos are 300 HP less, but when you consider the fact that the Zeus ulti doesn't hit them, then they're pretty much all the same. So HP across the board, it makes it very difficult for them to pick one target. And yeah, how the tables have turned. Waiting for the reconnect here for Universe, but
Loca, is that no, Loco is crazy. What is Locos? Let's see here. Google can help us. My Spanish is rusty.
But yeah, the BKB I think should come out on Arteezy before he picks up the Abyssal Blade. It's still a nice item to have, but if he can just nullify all this magic damage, they don't have the MKBs to deal with him.
Yeah, it translates to EG Crazy Paws. Pasa locas.
Universe. Disconnected out. Having some
Have you been
issues,
looking at
obviously.
Universe's Twitter recently, Blaze?
Oh my goodness, yes.
What is going on with that? Are they doing some sort of a contest, or is it just like his fans?
He's just having fun with it. He did one, and people loved it, and he's like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a thing now." And
oh, he's making all of them.
as far as I know, I mean, maybe
I just assumed they were fan submitted. I wasn't sure. That's funny.
No, I think he's doing it.
Oh, that's good stuff. I didn't realize Universe was such an artiste. Oh, here we go. They're back. They're ready to rock and roll. And Jericho. He said he was ready. Oh, Pedrito.
Waiting on the conga.
Oh, a Pedrito.
But yeah, this graph has been pretty interesting. Obviously, it's going to be moving towards EG more and more if Union Gaming can't break the high ground within the next 5 minutes. But I don't know. I mean, they've been putting up some interesting fights, been finding some interesting openings. The kill count has certainly favored them early. I mean, you look at actually if you look at the graphs and see the little green squares at the bottom of it, there are huge clumps where they just had these massive team fights. There's two in particular where they just pulled so far ahead with minimal repercussions, and you would hope that would really be able to translate into kills. But it kind of goes back to one thing that I was talking about in the draft. They didn't pick for push. The Nature's Prophet is a push hero, but he's kind of not even item-wise progressing in that fashion. So the end result is, even though they get lots of kills, they're not able to turn it into hard towers unless they really commit and are in the right position for it.
Yep, so they will back out following that pause. And again, there is a gem up on the Nature's Prophet, so not surprised to see them not roll the dice there. They do a little bit of chip damage to the Tier 3 tower, but all things considered, it's a good hold from the Evil Geniuses. And this tanky Meepo proves worth it. A lot of the times, you'd say in a situation like that, it's usually not worth it to complete an item instead of pulling for buyback, when if the Meepo had been picked off, he would have been left in the grave. But in this case, all the extra health from the Scotty was probably more effective than just waiting for a buyback, because he was able to survive through that huge onslaught of Veil and magic damage. So smart heads-up plays there from Mr. Zai, and we will just go right back to farming. So let's get net worth. The Meepo is still the highest in the game by a pretty big margin. Arrow flies through into the Dire Ancients, and Union Gaming looking to possibly contest the Meepo, but he'll poof back and he'll be just fine. Next Roche up in 2 minutes, Blaze.
Yeah, that's Union Gaming's last chance here. If there's a hard on Meepo and or a BKB on Phantom Assassin, they need like the ultimate arrow pick-off to try to actually win out this game. I mean, maybe they can move into a Hex on Angel. He's progressing his items decently fast with this Maelstrom, but I mean, that's really all they have going for them, is hexing out the PA and killing him while he can't evade. Other than that, it's too difficult.
Old Davy Jones there throwing a boat. Oh, I guess just clearing up the creep wave. Good stuff. But now Xander will be out of mana, and hopefully he won't need a boat in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, he'll be fine. They're just kind of farming up for that Force Staff. He really wants it for the next fight, but they're probably going to be pretty passive for the next 30 to 45 seconds, and then trying to go for a smoke play, pick somebody off, and hope that Rift spawns early to really just seal the deal on this. In the meantime, Zeus, still not level 16. This is like the make or break level for him. He needs to get that Thunder Gods maxed out, and hopefully get that Refresher Orb as well.
Yeah, it seems like not a huge jump in damage, only 100, but when you multiply that by the 5 heroes that it hits, that's a 500 damage increase that they desperately need, and then on top of the Veil, that buffs it up even more so. But we'll see some other big items picked up for Union Gaming here. The Mjolnir now for Angel. He was just hanging onto a Maelstrom before, and let's see, that was the Force Staff picked up onto the Kunkka. And now Viper, well on his way to a heart. Has the Reaver, as we saw before, 1,300 gold, basically just a recipe away. The big scary item, though, is on the side of Evil Geniuses, and that is the Pipe of Insight. All Universe here, sticking it full of tobacco, and now I'm not so sure EUG will have an easy time in this next big onslaught.
Yeah. Fear also very wisely goes for a Hood of Defiance on top of that. They know almost all the damage they're receiving is magic, so the fact that now he can apply that post-mitigation effect to the pipe makes it so hard to bring targets down.
Yep, and now we'll see engagement in the mid lane. Etch and a boat will be off the mark. Zai does have a pipe on. They will throw a Viper Strike out. A lot of damage to Meepo. He'll try and proof back, and it's not enough. Meepo falls. And looking at the buyback scenario, he doesn't have it. He's 500 gold short. This is a huge window of opportunity for Union Gaming. They've got 60 seconds of no Meepo. And of course, they don't know that he's short on buyback gold, but they can force the issue here, and they should be able to grab this Roche and grab some of that yummy cheese.
The Roche will go down for sure, but as far as the tier 3 and Rax push, Meepo's respawn is just a little bit too short for that, even at level 24. So, like I said, it's got to be those wonder arrows that really put them into this to try to finish the game, but that's going to give them the nice benefits of Aegis and Cheese. I think that Zai should just farm more passively in general, make sure that they always have the Blink Stomp. I think actually Centaur would have gotten a really good Blink Stomp there, but the Arc Lightning bounced to him, and his Blink Dagger got put on cooldown. So, painful indeed. But in the end, the Roche goes, the Aegis on the Viper, and the Cheese pinged out.
Yeah, they'll leave it in there for now, let it age a bit, and it will be the Zeus that picks it up and ditches the bottle. Around the bottom lane, Arteezy goes in onto the Kunkka, and the lead force staff back to safety. Artour will finish off the tower, pops his BKB, Viper Strike flies through, and he will just TP home. They don't have the damage to bring him down through magic immunity, and he will just find a free tower out of it. So, will cost him, I believe that was the 10-second BKB. Yep, sure was. But still, at least he, gets a tier 2 tower. So I think a worthy trade there.
Viper is huge as far as durability, but it just doesn't mean enough when it comes down to this late game. He needs damage. He needs to kill somebody off really quickly. He needs an MKB. Yep. And at this point of the game, it's going to be a while before he farms it. I would say he won't have it before like 42 minutes. He's just at absolutely nothing right now, so it's difficult. I think they're going to try to end it here, but without a sheep stick and without an MKB, PA with her 9-second BKB is almost impossible to bring down, and I'm sure Zai will be more careful about how he positions himself in the next fight as well. Refresher does come out for the Zeus though, and he is level 16.
Yeah, and this is that big item for them now. This was about as damage-full as Zeus is going to get, I think. I don't know where he goes from here, but he's...
E-Blade, bro.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, good call, good call. I got too caught up in the AoE realm. The E-Blade, it's too single target for a Zeus, bro. I don't know. But no, good point. E-Blade is definitely where he'll want to go next. Maybe they can find some farm on this rifle. You know, at some point they just need something to deal with these BKBs. That's going to be the big bottleneck. And there's only one out right now, but if this game continues to go on, maybe some more will come out onto the field for EG.
Yeah, I think they need to go the double hex route. I think Angel needs to stop going for the right-click build, to use his Midas a couple more times, and maybe even sell it to get the sheep up for him, and then even Zeus can pick up a hex. Since he does have that Blink Dagger, the Refresher Orb, that it means his hex is just so much more valuable than in a normal fashion. You start off a fight by getting 2 hexes on Arteezy, and the fight is almost guaranteed unless the response from PPD as well as Universe is absolutely impeccable.
Well, here we go. Union Gaming pressing up towards the top lane, and they want to make this push happen once more. Glyph is available. Meepo will get the tier 2 tower kill in the mid lane before they commit here. Benjaz will get X back here, and does a nice bit of chip damage to the tower. Fissure will delay things a little bit, and Union just don't want to commit to this. They will be forced back as Meepo gets a tier 3 tower. After all that, Zai finds 2 towers in exchange for Hill. Throws out the Hex, will get orchided, but is able to blink back to safety, and he didn't even get a single right click off. Now
Arrow?
TP.
Oh, the neutrals take it!
Oh boy.
Oh, they get the X though. They get the X. He's still gonna
there
get
you
it.
go. Whew. All right, they get the kill on Meepo. And again, does he have a buyback? This time he does, but Zai still creating a lot of space for the team. And finding 2 free towers. All they did was like about a quarter damage to the top tier 3 in exchange for a tier 2 and a tier 3. So EG putting on the pressure, but it's not over yet. Union Gaming, they want to push up the mid. They know this is their time to shine with all that damage from Zeus. They still have the Aegis on the Viper. They still have the Cheese. And this time they'll go into the mid lane so that Meepo can't finish off the racks.
They want to force the buyback here, but they also want to get out as soon as that happens. It's really hard to do against a Centaur with Stampede and Blink to just kind of casually stroll away from their side of the map, but we'll see right now if Fear's going to actually get any stealth off to deter their commitment. For now, they're just waiting it out 25 seconds. If Union Gaming commit too hard, they can't disengage from the buyback. If they don't commit enough, then they won't force the buyback. 15 seconds remain, and Zai just gets to keep his gold.
Yep, Benjaz will get X'd once again as he presses forward, looking for some initiation, will get hexed, and goes right back to safety, and that'll be it. They undercommit, and Zai will be happy to respawn here in just a couple of seconds. Really no losses on the side of EG as they stay patient inside of the base. Mirana has now become the gem carrier instead of the Nature's Prophet. Once again, Benjaz getting X back, but I don't quite understand what their strategy is here with this. I mean, I see they want him to go in, do some chip damage, and he gets pulled back to safety, but so far the chip damage has been pebbles. It's so minuscule at this point. Now laying into the tower, but no X has been used. He will get caught by an Earthbind. Wolves comes out.
Oh, wow.
And we'll see some initiation on him. Milano, Meepo catches him off to the side. Benjaz now caught inside of the wards. And they will start to get this Meepo around the backside. Goes right on the both flies through. Not the way they wanted it to go. Meepo will get silenced, and now he will fall. He gets clicked down. Buyback is still available. And PPD comes out with a big echo. Still, a lot of losses on the side of EG. Benjaz falls. That'll proc the Aegis. Meepo has now bought back. Looks forward. Goes in on the Angel with all the food. And Benjaz will get taken down for a second time. EG with a successful hold. Only costs them one buyback. And now they should be able to push straight up the mid lane. Zeus the only one still standing. There are quite a few buybacks on the Radiant side, but EG now regaining all this momentum.
Yeah, they don't lose hardly any life on the tier 3. They're not going to have to buy back on Arteezy. It's unfortunate that they went down to the Viper Strike ticks after he had gotten out with that nice Phantom Strike, but all said is done. It's not going to be that bad. They get the return kills, and Union Gaming have kind of hit their peak. Like, they can't get better than they just were just now. I mean, yes, if they get the Sheepstick up on Zeus and on Furion, and they get the MKB on Viper, and they do all these other things, they'll be better, but EG just will increase their arsenal that much more rapidly, and in the end, they're going to lose this game. It's going to be a long, drawn-out one, maybe, if Zai plays it very carefully and waits for the next Roche, but in the end, we see the experience graph. It's going back the way of EG, and they just have the heroes that can do this. It's going to take a huge upset swing. It's going to be like arrows connecting out of completely nowhere in order for them to even have a handle on it, but to pull forward
arrows.
they need something crazy. They need refresher hacks, they need perfect arrows. I mean, it's hard to dodge an arrow with 5 guys to control, but even still, like, this MKB is the wrong decision for Angel.
Yep. Well, at least it'll help solve some of their right click problems here, but yeah, now they're sort of lacking on the control front. And with Meepo's buyback on cooldown, maybe they'll have a window here that they'll try to force. They did eat the cheese in that last fight, and of course the Aegis was burned, so I don't know that they'll try it. It's looking more like it will be a stalemate, kind of as you were mentioning. Roshan still not into that RNG timer yet. Maybe it'll be a short respawn, and that will help accelerate things a bit. But both teams kind of just stationed on their section of the map for now. EG will start to rotate into the Radiant jungle down bottom as UG rotate up towards the top lane. Blade Mail now picked up on the Viper, so he's just looking to return some damage and tank up further. And PA goes for the big disable, the Abyssal Blade.
Yeah, it's the wrong mindset for Viper to have. We're actually going to see Furion going back and actually farming down bottom and then being X back. So it's not just that he has 20-second teleport. He has a 20-second temporary relocate where he can just go down to wherever he wants. But I guess it's really good that he used that method of farming it instead of actually like committing to the teleport, because we do see down bottom Fear, Zai, all waiting for their opening, and they're not going to find it here. Universe also hiding the tree lines, but a little more subtly. As far as that Blade Mail pickup on the Viper, I think Benhaz is barking up the wrong tree. He essentially is a hero they can completely ignore in the team fight now. Hearts, Aghanim's, Blade Mail, and Mech. Just why bother chewing through that health bar when you can just focus on the Furion, who has no tank items, and the Zeus, who only has the Blink.
Yeah, completely agreed. And at this point, even if you ignore the Viper, his damage output is just lackluster. Sure, he can throw out Viper strikes, but at this point, we see so much magic armor, the pipe, and all these heroes are just naturally so tanky. The Viper strike kind of tickles. It's not an ability that really scales particularly well, even if you have an Ag Scepter. And we will see a little Rat Dota play as here Nature's Prophet goes into the mid lane. He will get X back, but the Yules will keep him in place, and now they will punish Angel as he goes down. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Zai back up to the Rat Dodo, and he will pressure that tier 3 tower, forces some TPs back. A Stampede comes out, and end of the day, they force a buyback onto the Nature's Prophet, find a kill on him, and they get a tier 3 tower, but Zai gets hit by an arrow. Now Angel coming in, and this will be a dead Meepo. All right, so the buyback from Angel proves worth it there. But
no,
still,
I mean, like, I don't actually think so, because Angel was not necessary for that kill. The X mark guarantees a Meepo kill. That's the bottom line. So Angel buying back, then farming up creeps that don't give him gold. Like, there's nothing that he's going to accomplish in this duration.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll strike it from the record, Blaze. I believe you.
But it's tough in these situations to make the exact call you need to deal with all these threats and the late game aspect here. It's easy to let things go to your head very quickly. In the end, our sacred find is 44-minute Blink Dagger. Pretty standard, and well, I guess we'll have to see if it's going to be a 100% win rate or a 0% on a Blink Dagger that late on timing.
Well, it looks like UG might be almost at Hail Mary time here. They want this mid lane, they see the towers down, and they'll go for it. Glyph is available for EG, but they'll save it as long as they can. Fissure from PPD will help buy them some time, but already they're pressuring that top tower. It's Artour and Universe, not the Meepo, as he is still in the grave for another 22 seconds. No buyback available on him. Still 60 seconds until it cools down. Mid lane of Rax will fall. Now we'll go to the top lane. The tier 3 tower's fallen. And checking up on the top lane on the Radiant side, Artour and Universe pushing slowly but surely. And EG will not get the better of this trade. They'll lose a full lane of Rax in the mid. They'll lose the melee up top. They might be able to get a counter kill onto Ben Janus, as yeah, he does get caught inside of the Yules, and now we'll start to make the retreat.
They're just going to cancel TPs. That's all they have to do is keep canceling TPs. Meepo's in the base with BOTs. They're going to take these racks insanely fast, at least even the racks disadvantage, and there's nothing UG can do.
Yep, Jericho will get left behind. Caught in the shackles. Alana will buy back now as Meepo trashing this mid lane of Rax. The top lane has already gone down, and that will level things out. Both teams with only a bottom lane of Rax standing, but not for long. As Meepo going hard on the tier 3 tower. Zeus dropping the hammer, but died just too damn tanky. Now Angel gets initiated upon. No buyback for him. He will fall. Sidderal takes a double edge, pops his Ghost Scepter. That will keep him alive. The stifling dagger does nothing, but now he will get chopped down. The boat flies through, and that is Mega Creeps. EG, even if they get wiped up here, they should still be in pretty good shape. Artour will fall. Universe looking to TP home. The Meepo gets picked off as well, but all of their racks have been cleared out. Meepo will have the buyback this time, pops it right away, and EG, they've had enough. They want to end this one sooner rather than later.
Didn't even have to wait for the last Roche. I thought that was going to be the timer for them to make their play happen, but they noticed that there weren't TPs on everybody on Union Gaming when they pushed out, and they were able to cancel one or two as well. So they get the dieback effectively on Prophet. Very delayed, but nevertheless stuck in the grave, and they take all the racks. So that's going to be pretty much the game breaker. I mean, technically, Kunkka going like Divine Rapier mode right now could clear out Mega Creeps all day long, but
not sure
at the
he's
same
going to
time,
find 6,000 gold here, though. That's the big... That's the big bottleneck.
Sell everything. Naked Rapier now.
Well, I mean, they are pretty much in Hail Mary mode at this point, so if there was ever a time to sell all of your items and buy a Rapier, this one could be it, or pretty damn close to it. Now, they do have 2 lanes of racks down, but the Megas just make such a disparity. Even the Mega versus Super, I don't know what the right terminology is here, but the lane of racks down creeps hit for about 50 apiece, and Super Duper Megas, they hit for 100. So even though they have a 2 to 3 racks advantage, EG will just be constantly shoving into the base, and they need somebody on base duty pretty much full time here, and they don't really have someone well suited for it. You mentioned Kunkka normally is great at this, but his item build in the support role is just not well suited for it. And I think UG may just be in Hail Mary, let's go all in mode as soon as this Nature's Prophet comes up. Refresher up in 50 seconds, perhaps that's what they'll wait for, but they need to do something, and they need to do it fast.
Check out Fear in the bottom lane, just dropping down the wards. It's almost a tier 4 tower guarantee. We'll see where Angel moves. He teleports on the front line, so they're going to lose their base while they try to attempt this fight.
Yeah, all in top, Nature's Prophet falls, it's a dieback. PPD will sacrifice himself for it, but buys back to get right back into the fray. One of the tier 4s almost down is here. Drops the wards, doing a lot of damage. Viper will get picked off in the mid lane, and that is the GG. EG will secure the win over Union Gaming. Meepo BOT's back down, the throne falls. And it was a nail biter till the bitter end, but EG proved successful, and actually the deficit of hero kills, 27 to 31. Union put up one hell of a fight, but the evil geniuses are just too damn good.
Yeah, very, very nicely done. The Zeus combo with all those magic abilities and, of course, the Veil of Discord, I really love that kind of composition, but they just didn't have really a way to finish everything off. I mean, even when they pushed in the barracks in the mid and the top lane, it was like the late game Nature's Prophet that only landed in a few right clicks. So in the end, when they go for the trade, they get the better control over the map in general, and they just know what to do in those situations. They can take a breather, because as long as they hold the line, they're the ones that are going to be able to take the late game, and indeed they do. Good game, well played, Evil Geniuses. A couple of rough fights for them, but in the end they do triumph, out carrying with the Meepo and the PA.
Absolutely, my friend. We're going to not delay any longer because we've got another game coming up. That was another long one, and I think our next match was scheduled to start 5 minutes ago. So stick with us, guys. We've got 2 more games coming up next. It will be Union versus CNB, and then SNA versus Not Today for our final 2 matches of Star Ladder Season 10 America, Day 5. I'm Zayori, joined once again by Blaze. Right back.